Welcome, citizen, to another Starcraft Nation broadcast. I'm your host, VirusSatiini. I'm going to be casting the second game in between VirusSatiini and MouzMaNa. Of course, we are on Lost Temple, and let's do a little bit of a recap here as what exactly happened last time. Now, we were on Jungle Basin, and we saw MouzMaNa take an early expansion. There really wasn't any early pressure from either of our players. We did see Satini kind of come out with, we saw him come out with 3 units, 2 Marauders and a Marine. He could have done some early pressure, but didn't actually do anything with it, as MouzMaNa didn't actually have anything up really to count. He had 1 Stalker and 1 Sentry. Sentry could have force fielded once, but then we could have definitely seen some trouble for MouzMaNa. But that was not the case, and I'm really not sure how that's going to affect our players, though, now, as the way it ended up, basically, is Ghosts came in with their EMP blast, shattered the first army that MouzMaNa had come up with. He came back with Colossus, and then we saw him, once again, though, just get trounced, as the charge lots came in and owned the tanks of Satini, but there was just too many biological units left over, and the 2 Colossus in the background just weren't enough to make the magic happen. So, what do we got going on now? Pretty standard openers from both of our players. No proxies and scouting going on. So basic bread and butter stuff. Of course, you know, we look at this stuff and we're like, oh god, so boring. But this is very crucial stuff. This boring stuff, the stuff that you hate to do as a player, makes you that much of a better player. And I mean, most of you probably are like, yeah, VirusSatiini, I scout. I do what I'm supposed to do. But I mean, hell, I preach this day in, day out, but sometimes I don't even scout, and when I don't, I generally get raped, and I want to punch myself in the face, so just a friendly reminder to always scout, as it is very, very pivotal. So right now, MouzMaNa, of course, coming in here, just taking a quick peek, but the Marine coming out and evicting that probe. Will be continuing to chase down the probe, maybe? Yeah, it looks like it, actually, as this probe will be coming over here to the Xel'Naga Tower, seeing that Marine is still going to be persecuting and coming after him, though not anymore. He's just going to hang out by that Xel'Naga Tower. We do have the SCV coming up here, and we'll be finding MouzMaNa's base. We do have Warp Gate technology, and we do have him putting down the pylons in the corners of the bases. Now, this is good stuff. You want, especially with a base this large, you want to have outlying buildings so you can tell what's going on, so that someone can't throw down a bunker, can't put down a proxy barracks in your base, can't do something crazy. And if there are drops coming, you can see it that much sooner. Because if you keep all your base clumped up in the middle, all your buildings clumped up in the middle of your base, the drop's going to come in there and you're going to be caught with your pants down. You're going to lose that many more probes, and I would rather lose a pylon than 2 probes. That's just me. As you don't want that kind of damage done to your economy. Now, we do have a wall-off coming from Satini, so not wanting there to be any productive 4-gate pressure, as the units can go ahead and just kind of march up here and run past and then do a lot of damage, whereas if you do actually wall off, you will be blockading any sort of run-bys, and you're not going to allow the units to get full DPS coverage. So good stuff there, good stuff there. And was that a tech lab going down? I'm not sure. We had a cancellation of something, though. I was supposing that we were going to see a tech lab jump right here, but that doesn't look like it's going to be the case any longer. So right now we do actually have a Reaper kind of poking around and taking a look-see, see what's going on. We will be moving up here. We'll be killing this probe. This probe will be running for its life, but will it be enough? No. The Reaper will be able to catch it, and will be taking it out with that 3rd round if it can get to it. Yes, maybe yes, and there we go. So the first kill of the game, but we do actually have a Stalker, a Sentry, and a Zealot will be moving out. Of course, the only thing that's really going to be able to kill it is going to be the Stalker. We'll be coming in contact right there, but of course, we'll see the Reaper will be retreating ASAP. Now, this early Reaper, not really functioning in a damaging manner, but just kind of early pressure, making MouzMaNa have to react to it, and taking away his, basically not leaving him unmolested. Of course, we do actually see MouzMaNa has supply locked himself there, so that is always a negative place to be. We do have a pylon on the way, but we also have a Hellion coming up here. So this Hellion will be trying to get to that ramp, but seeing that it is completely blocked off, the Stalker trying to get to it, but it doesn't look like the Hellion will be able to come around and get away in time. And we do have an Observer coming out for MouzMaNa. MouzMaNa not choosing to get a second one, so not fearful of any sort of Banshee harassment. But, oh, guess what? Here we go. There's a Banshee coming out there with the cloaking field. So MouzMaNa really going to be leaving himself in the danger zone if he doesn't see this coming on. But it does look like he will be able to get up here in time, unless Satini can block it. Will he get the vision of it? Yeah, yes, he will get the vision of it. So, MouzMaNa just barely able to grab that in time. Not seeing that there's actually anything being produced per se, but he did see that coming. So right now, we only have one Observer up for MouzMaNa. Not really sure exactly where that is. I'm guessing it will be on the base somewhere. Yes, there it is right there. So we'll be anticipating a Banshee coming out there due to the fact he did see that Stargate with the tech lab. So yes, actually we'll be anticipating and we'll be seeing it, but losing one probe, losing a second probe, cloaking but to no avail. We'll be actually taking some damage, but not that much. We don't have blink on the Stalkers, so it doesn't really have to worry about the Stalkers coming after him. Of course, does he see that Reaper sitting right there? Yes, he does see that Reaper sitting right there. So, woo! That Reaper will, of course, knows what's going on. So right now, Satini just continuing to harass MouzMaNa, but not actually making any sort of substantial damage going on. Yeah. But, hey, you know, you do what you can. Building up to, I guess we're going to have a grand battle here sooner or later. Taking a look at the army tab right now. Both of our players, for being 9 minutes into the game, have relatively low armies. But, of course, we've seen both of our players expand and dedicating a lot of time and money into their overall economy state. So we do actually have our buddy Satini will be bunkering up on this, on his natural. We'll have the tank up here. I suppose it will be sieging once it finishes off that siege tech. And we have the Hellion sitting out here, not feeling so hot and not able to really get into the pit crew. But this Observer will be poking around. Still, we do actually have two Observers. And say MouzMaNa doing a good job of keeping himself with multiple Observers. That is going to be pivotal when it comes time for him to move out. Because if you move out and you take the Observer with you, you leave your base in jeopardy. But if you leave the Observer at the base, then your main army is going to sit there and get pinged on by things it can't see. And that's really not a position you want to be in. So simple stuff. Just build a second one. I know it sounds overly retarded, but I haven't even done it sometimes. It's a lot easier to preach this stuff in hindsight than it is to actually practice it, because there's so much you have to think about when you're doing all this. Of course, all of you being StarCraft players, I'm preaching to the choir, I know this, but you know, if you haven't heard anyone else talk about it, I'm definitely going to reiterate the fact that there is just a royal crap ton of stuff you have to remember, and that's what makes this game great. We do actually see that one Zealot going down. These three Banshees, of course, not really going to be able to do much, forcing MouzMaNa to evacuate his mineral line, so doing some economic damage, but choosing to back out before they had to engage these Stalkers. Really not wanting to go toe-to-toe with that many Stalkers with these Banshees. Because he focus fire would kill a lot of the Stalkers, but I think that the Banshees wouldn't come out on top, seeing as they don't have any upgrades or anything of that nature. We do have a Stargate coming out for MouzMaNa, so I'm guessing we're going to see Phoenixes, as that will definitely be the thing to knock those Banshees out of the sky. And oh, what is this? Satini's actually supply locked himself once again. The other place you want to be. I guess he did it in the past as well, because we do actually have a double-decker supply depot right there. You know, it's really unfortunate when you have to do that. I know there's a lot of things running around, and sometimes you forget to do the supply depots, but I mean, those mules are so broken and so amazing when it comes to keeping your economy just raging. I mean, if there's ever any unit in this game that is really going to just make your economy rock hard, it is going to be the mule, period, hands down. And yeah, when you use it, scans I can understand, but when you use it for the double-decker supply depots, it's like, God, that's money lost. So whatever, that's my rant on that one. But we will actually have Satini moving in here into the main, and there are only two Stalkers right here, so the Stalkers will be going down to the focus fire of Satini. MouzMaNa, of course, moving up here with three more Stalkers and this one Phoenix, this Phoenix will be taking down one, and Satiini, seeing that he will not be able to get away, will be choosing to go ahead and engage these forces, as we do see all three of those Banshees mopped up right there. Meanwhile, though, in response, we see Satiini cranking out 4 Vikings right now. So these Vikings are really going to put a crunch on that Phoenix. Going to be a crunch on those observers, as we do have a Raven. Raven's underused, in my opinion. Great addition to any Terran army. Mobile vision, you get the point defense drones, and you get the auto turrets. The point defense drones are really effective against the Stalkers, as they soak up so many Stalker hits. And, I mean, hey, why would... It's basically a Terran shield in principle. And, hell, why wouldn't you do it is my question on that one. But, you know, just one more thing you got to worry about. But... what do we got going on here? Actually, we do actually have that one observer coming up there and totally got sniped, rained down on by these Vikings because of this Raven. And now MouzMaNa is down to 1 observer, I believe. No, he's got 2. Never mind. So he's still good. MouzMaNa, though, making sure and not making sure not to keep himself blind, just continue to crank out those guys. We do see side storms coming out. These side storms are going to be very, very effective. There's one observer parking over here on this high yield. The high yield, of course, being scouted out there, and it does look like we are going to have a clash of forces right here. His point defense drone is going down, and we see that the Vikings trying to snipe that point defense drone, trying to protect the Vikings at the same time. We see the forces of Satiini stemming right here. We'll be engaging these Stalkers, but getting out of range of the... Ooh, we see an EMP blast going down, but not actually grab... Was that an EMP blast? Yes? I don't know. That looked like an EMP blast. I don't actually... Oh, side storms coming down on the bio ball of Satiini. The tank sieging, trying to make something happen here. These Vikings coming and raining hell down on these Colossus. I don't think it's going to be enough, as we see the ground forces of Satiini completely getting wiped out there, as they're in full retreat, trying to run away. But these charge lots will be more than quick enough to go ahead and chase these guys down. As we saw Satiini trying to move up with his siege tanks and basically caught with his pants down, as we have only 1 Colossus left. So these Vikings really don't have anything to engage. Side storms coming down on these Vikings and the bio ball right there. We have 1 tank on the field. It's not sieging up, as the natural is completely being compromised right now. And these zealots, of course, getting up in the face of this tank, trying to kill it, as this one SCV was acting as a shit shield for that tank. Stalkers blinking up here. We have a Guardian shield coming down. We actually have SCVs coming off the line, trying to act as a fodder squad. The Vikings coming down and VTOLing, coming up here, trying to make something happen, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as Satiini's forces are starting to dwindle, as the SCVs were all picked off right there. The only thing income-wise that Satiini has left is this high-yield expansion, as it is quite safe and comfortable right now, as it has a planetary fortress, and there is not enough in the way of forces right now, I don't believe, to take out that planetary fortress with the amount of SCVs that we have right there. But it does look like Satiini actually... Will he? Yes, he will be GGing out, so we will see MouzMaNa taking the second game right there. Great use of those side storms, able to catch Satiini at the wrong moment. I don't know if Satiini could have actually taken that army if he could have split the forces, bringing those charge slots up into his units in the range of those tanks, but of course the tanks would be doing damage to his own units as well, so don't know how that was really going to play out. I feel he might have invested a little bit too much money into his Viking Air Force, as there were only 3 Colossus, and those Colossus definitely got rained on. So overall, we saw MouzMaNa bounce back from that early loss, and it looks like it will be going to the 3rd game. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down, you know the drill. So with that, as always, citizens, stay safe.